Hey everyone, I'm your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here's your daily forecast for the day of Saturday, January 27th, 2018. Now, before I get started, I just want to say sorry, y'all, that I haven't given you an update on my life this past week. You know, I'm no longer at work anymore, just trying to get some stuff in order with astrology here. I'm a little frustrated because I feel like it's been going a little bit slower than I would like it to go, but I keep telling myself to just pace myself, that it's okay, that I have some money saved up here, that I'll be fine. So I'm just doing that, trying to just organize everything, get into a new set of routines, which is a little bit harder for me to adjust to than I thought. On top of that, I'm pretty sure I have a mouse in my apartment going on. I hear some rustling and stuff, like a little bit in my ceilings the past few weeks, and then now I actually think it's like in my washer and dryer. So if you see me jump a little bit, it's because I hear some mouse hanging around over here that I've got some traps around trying to catch. Now that I'm like spending more time at home, I can hear these kind of things that maybe I don't hear at nighttime. So yeah, so that's what's going on with me. I'm hoping that next week I get more in the swing of things and start moving a lot faster than I have been lately. All right, so that's what I've got for you there. As for your horoscope today, we do have the moon hanging out right here in Gemini, 13 degrees. That's funny. My moon is actually at 12 degrees natally. But the moon is going to be in Gemini for today, bringing our attention to communicating, talking, thinking, lots of mental activity going on here. And also just short trips around town comes in with Gemini too. Exploring information comes up. So I think that's what's going on today. Okay, I think that the more that we can communicate, talk, explore, gather information, I think the more it's going to help us here where the sun and Venus are, to envision a new life for ourselves, to feel more comfortable with who it is that we are in some way. I think it also might help us too to reach some goals and dreams of ours that are important to us now that we're beginning to talk about them, be more open with them, and gather more information about where our life is going. All right, that's because we do have the moon here making a trine to both the sun and Venus early this morning. It's going to make the trine to the sun around midnight, and the trine to Venus, since they're very close to each other here, is not going to happen until around 5 a.m. Okay, but that's kind of what's going on this morning here, is we're thinking a lot about our life, trying to gather more information, communicate about what's going on with us so that we can get more clarity on our life, on where our life is going, so we can feel much better stepping into some new chapters and reaching some big goals of ours, okay? So that's what's going on there. After that happens at 7 a.m., the moon then comes into a square over here with Neptune. Sorry, I gotta get used to drawing these big circles. Comes into a square with Neptune, okay? And what that could do is, after we're feeling like, you know what, we're making some progress, we're thinking more clearly about our life, about where life is going, about how we can reach some goals of ours, maybe there's some confusion that does start to come in at 7 a.m. with this Neptune thing, okay? Maybe we're confused now about how to think, about what's going on with our life. Or maybe this new life that we're thinking about and envisioning is uncomfortable for us. You know, it's something new, it's different here, and now we have to adjust who we are on the inside to get on board here with some new goals that we're having, and with this new way that we're expressing ourselves and starting to think about our life and where our life is going. Okay, so that could definitely come in at 7 a.m. though. Okay, the goal with that though is to not allow yourself to get lost in so much confusion here, but to allow yourself to have faith that everything will work out as planned, to be creative as well, come up with creative solutions to some problems, to just create anyways, sing, paint, write is always good here, and to turn that confusion into inspiration by sitting with the confusion long enough to let it help you and to get some real insights from it, okay? So that's kind of what can come in at 7 a.m. with the square to Neptune. Then at 10 a.m. the moon is going to move further through Gemini here, and it's going to come into a sextile here with the North Node. Okay, so any way that you're thinking about your life and trying to envision a new future, even though it may be confusing for you, even though it may be a little bit uncomfortable for you inside to adjust to, is ultimately going to help you here. Also, eventually do some things that you enjoy. Do some things that make you happy. Take the lead and the initiative in your life to put your life in a place that is much better for you coming in. Okay, so I see that being a very good thing coming in at 10 a.m. Then after that, at 6 p.m., and I don't normally talk about this, but at 6 p.m. the moon is then going to make a quincunx to both Pluto, and then at 8 p.m. a quincunx to Jupiter coming in. So as we're here trying to envision a new life here for ourselves, explore new possibilities, new opportunities, so that we can be more free to express ourselves and do some things that it is that we enjoy. We here may have to, with these quincunxes coming and making a yod, because Pluto and Jupiter are also in a sextile with each other, have to readjust the way that we think about some changes that we've been making in our life lately to put our life in a better direction. Not that we still can't make changes in our life that are good for us, especially with Pluto still in a sextile with Jupiter, but that we have to think differently now about these changes that we've been making in our life. We have to get more familiar with these changes. We have to get more comfortable with them in some way, and we have to begin to live them, okay, in a more personal way than beforehand coming in, okay? As to maybe where the past few weeks and months, especially since the beginning of January, has been really intense changes all over the place, trying to transform yourself and your life for the better in a really big way. I think now we have to take a step back from doing that, or make those changes in our life in a different way, so that we can start to feel more comfortable moving forward and be able to communicate about them in a way that can help us see where our life is going and bring it all together, okay? So that's what I think is going on there. Then after that happens at midnight, this is going to happen into tomorrow, the moon then comes into a square with Chiron. All right, sorry my chart is getting messy. Ooh, that's a new shape. Coming in. Well, maybe I'll delete it for you really quick. Why not? Since we're getting squares. I got a new iPad for Christmas, a bigger one, and sometimes it hasn't been working as well as I'd like. It's been a little buggy, and of course they updated this paper app, which I don't like the way they updated it, so that's been a little hard too. But anyways, so then at midnight, and this is more towards tomorrow, what's going to happen is that the moon right here is then going to come into a square with Chiron, okay, while at the same time coming into a sextile with Uranus happening. So towards the end of the day here, after we've been trying to envision a new life, think about what's going on with us, make some changes that we're doing more familiar, okay, and to readjust our perspective on our life as we've been changing it. There could be some hurt feelings that do come in inside as you begin to communicate and think more about your life and where it is going. Okay, I think that's just a big thing with all these squares to Pisces that are going to be coming in now with the moon in Gemini, is as we're more open about what's going on in our life, as we're communicating about it, more thinking about it, more envisioning a new life for ourselves with what's happening, I think now we're feeling a little bit uncomfortable with all of this because we're showing more of ourselves maybe than we're used to, or showing a different side of ourselves too, I think could be coming out here. That could be a little bit hard, okay? And needing to let yourself sit with some of the uncomfortable feelings here to not get distracted by them, so that with the sextile to Uranus coming in around the same time, we can get some really big insights here about our life, about who we are, about who it is that we need to be moving forward, okay? So that's kind of what I see going on, is we're starting to see a new life for ourselves, like new possibilities. We're starting to step into all of these changes that we've been making, not make as many changes, or make changes in different ways here, so that we can really begin to step into these new chapters. And I think now we're feeling a little bit uncomfortable inside, maybe a little bit scared, maybe a little bit confused here about who we are now that our life is changing, now that we're starting to live a new life and see a new future, and having to be patient with yourself. Again, with all the Neptune stuff, be kind to yourself too, and have faith that what it is that you're doing the right thing. Okay, even if it doesn't feel quite right yet, it will eventually, because you're doing something new. You need time to get used to it, and I think that's what we're trying to figure out yesterday and today, of course, with the moon in Gemini, is how to be comfortable with everything that's been going on, and how to really integrate it into your life and not be so scared if it's something that maybe originally you were not expecting coming in, okay? So that's what I've got going on for you there. Other stuff in the background that's happening, most of it, to be honest, is nothing new. But we do have Mars, of course, 0 degrees, Sagittarius. I like this personally. Sagittarius is a very happy sign, very passionate, very playful. I like to think Mars here in Sagittarius is going to make us that way. A little bit more excitable about life. Give us a little bit more energy here to do the things that we're excited about and that we're passionate about, and to make some big progress on some things we've been working out for the past 2 or 3 years when Saturn was in Sagittarius. All right, so that's what we have going on there. Also, Venus and the Sun moving very, very close to the south node here, of course, indicating us maybe needing to go back over some things from the past, which is going to be big at this eclipse coming in before we can move forward. Maybe feeling a little held back in relationship situations and with money and on some personal projects that are very close to you, but needing to kind of take a step back to get the lay of the land here before it is that you move forward, or doing both at the same time, you know, getting a different perspective on your life in some way, seeing the big picture while at the same time putting some of the work in. I think that could be a thing coming in here, and going back over the past and taking the past into new chapters, okay, really trying to work some of that stuff out. We also do have Mercury here coming more and more exact, 23 degrees into the square with Uranus and the sextile with Chiron. So unexpected news could be coming up, lots of unexpected communication about your life, about where your life is going. That could be a little bit hard, but that is meant to ultimately heal you, make you feel better, and make you feel more comfortable with what's going on inside. This is kind of an interesting thing coming, because while we've got Mercury here making a square to Uranus and a sextile to Chiron, we actually have the moon here making the opposite, the hard aspect to Chiron and the pretty one to Uranus. So I think that's just kind of an interesting thing going on. Of course, in Mercury ruling Gemini in a lot of ways, I think that could definitely be a huge thing that comes up today and tomorrow, some unexpected communication here in some way that could be equally maybe uncomfortable and comfortable at the same time, and really having to work this unexpected communication out here to figure out a solution to it all, to figure out how to make sense of it all, and to figure out how to move forward in the right ways. So I think that could definitely be a thing here. I wonder if the communication that comes in is going to be like part good and like part unsettling, and really having to figure out how to make the best of it and bring everything together. So that's kind of like an interesting alignment. I'm interested to see how that one plays out for me. There. That's interesting, especially because I do have a lot of planets at 22 degrees. So yeah, so that's what's going on there today. Now for your card, let's see what we've got. We've got here the 9. This is the 9 of Wands upright. This to me is normally a card of being on the defense in some way. Normally 9s, I mean, it's almost a 10, so I feel like there's something you've been doing, lots of work you've been putting in here, especially with the Pluto coming in lately, and the Jupiter here changing your life for the better coming in. And maybe you're scared today after all the progress that you've made, like you're gonna lose it, you know, like someone's gonna take it from you, like it's not gonna turn out the way that you want it to turn out, even though you've been putting in so much work to make it happen. And I think this card is a message to say, look, don't worry about it. Like, if you've been doing everything that you can to put your life in the right place, to make the changes that you needed to make to become the person you've always wanted to be, you are fine. You're fine. Don't be scared that something's going to come up, even though I know I just talked a lot about Uranus bringing some unexpected news. Don't be scared that something's going to come up that you can't deal with. You know, if anything unexpected does come up, you have the power to make the choices to make it better for you, okay? So I think that could definitely be a big thing here, to just trust that you've done the work, that you are right where you need to be, and to get used to this new spot that it is that you have, okay? Don't lose everything, you know, don't not stay the course, don't let everything get away from you here, you know, and forget about everything that you're doing and let everything fall by the wayside. But don't doubt yourself either, and don't get lost in negative thinking here, thinking that you're not where you need to be, or that it's all not gonna come together, because I think it will. I think you can do it. I think you can definitely create the life that it is that you want. It's just a matter now of staying the course here, believing in yourself, and pushing through maybe some resistance or some uncertain feelings that you have inside, so that you can get to the 10 the 10 of Wands later on, and so that you can feel much more accomplished with what's happening and like you've completed something. Okay, so that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, Please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.